lead story tonight if it hadn't been for the pirate situation. Breaking news on the terrorism front, a massive roundup of suspected Al-Qaeda members. But we're not talking about Pakistan or Afghanistan. We're talking about Great Britain. 8 locations hit, a dozen people arrested, several hundred law officers taking part. It's been happening in northwestern England.
Some of those involved had ties to core Al-Qaeda figures.
11 of the 12 men are Pakistanis, most in Britain on student visas.
We perceived the threat was there, and therefore we had to take action.
Police arrested a dozen men Wednesday in a series of anti-terror raids that involved hundreds of officers across the northwest of England. Authorities say the suspects range from a youth in his mid-teens to a 41-year-old man.
We face a serious threat from terror.
From the attacks on London in 2005 to the plot to blow up flights to America in 2006, there seems to be a fair amount of terror-related activity in Great Britain the last few years. What is going on?
Details continue to emerge about the threat allegedly foiled in Britain.
Several houses and an internet cafe in the Manchester area were also raided, police detaining 12 people altogether.
And the investigation stumbled early as Britain's head of counter-terrorism blew the lid off the case by mistakenly sporting intelligence about the suspects in plain view under his arm as he went in to brief the Prime Minister about the alleged plot. But after 12 arrests and almost 2 weeks of investigation, there are no charges and all suspects have, in the words of police, walked. Though Gordon Brown labelled the threat serious.
We've been investigating a major terrorist plot.
And they are still in custody, this time to face deportation. All of this has served to undermine the credibility of the British government in its fight against terror.
Yesterday, 11 Pakistani men and 1 Briton who'd been arrested under a huge blaze of publicity for terrorist activities were released without charge. You'd think this would be good news, but having not been charged with anything, they're now being threatened with deportation under the guise of a national security threat. This is extremely worrying. Everybody understands that the police have to act if they suspect terrorist activity. And we also understand that it may well be the case that innocent people are arrested and subsequently released. That's part of a robust judicial system. Gordon Brown commented on the case even before it got to court, claiming in his words that it represented a very big terrorist plot. This interference and politicisation undermines the very foundation of our legal system, that of presumed innocence. When policing is conducted in such a high-profile manner, sensationalist headlines are generated, adding to a climate of fear, and community relations are damaged. It also damages the trust between Muslim communities and the police. The Daily Star headline on the 10th of April, "Bomb plot nuts plan to kill kids having fun," is just one example. It is understandable that not every intelligence lead or tip-off will be accurate. That's the nature of police work. What is not acceptable, however, is that not having been charged with any offence, these men are now facing the appalling smear of being a national security threat and facing deportation. Sadly, this very high-profile terrorist raid, which actually ended up with very little basis, is not an isolated incident. It appears to be part of a pattern. We saw just recently in February 9 men in the northwest being arrested. Their crime, ultimately, was that they were taking a charity convoy to Gaza. Before that, we've seen the high-profile ricin plot, the Old Trafford bombing of the football stadium plot. We've seen the East London Forest Gate plot, where we heard there was a bomb factory and ultimately a shooting was involved, and yet nothing was found to be at the basis of that. What we really should be seeing is a radical change in the way this sensitive issue is being handled. The trend of trial by media and politicians has to be stopped. This means politicians and police officers refraining from premature briefings before cases have got to court where real evidence can be evaluated. In one stroke, this would not only restore the principle of innocent until proven guilty, but would help restore confidence in the government and police, whose own credibility has currently been undermined.